All right, we are live.
Excellent. All right. Welcome all once again to our adventures in the Dead Sea God. Now I actually have a little bit of a fun idea for the recap this session. Being that previously our group had some fun in the city of Boise, which I will be pulling us over to now. But maybe not unfortunately, as part of the thing, our friend Shava was left out of most of the events, and as such, I thought it might be in the best interests to sort of start off with Shava rejoining the party, and then the party informing Shava what she has missed as a sort of natural flow, and also so that we don't have to, say the exact same thing twice.
Also, because if we do rollies again, I will end up being the one having to do the recap because that's just my life. So I like this idea.
That seems to be the thing. Also, Carissa, it would appear that your toolbar is visible in the stream. If that is okay, then that is okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
All right. And so, when last we left, our party was kind of in this middle walkway of town area here. And we can say that they were nearby the, if I can recall what this place was called. I just want to make certain I get the name right. The Tangled Vine Inn, which is also the town hall and the post office. And that is where Shava has been apparently writing some sort of letter of some description. And then we can say Shava exits to meet up with the party, or did you have a different sort of thing? I'm not trying to railroad your character here, Stell.
Well, Carissa and I had talked about it, and she said that it was okay if my character was communicating with my family back home, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Somehow they have a way to communicate with me.
She had mentioned something about writing a letter, so that is what initially you were doing. So if nothing else, you were just writing something. But yes, in that case, you were communicating, whether that be by letter or some other means that the party were not privy to.
Okay. So I'm just going to run up and be like, hey guys, I'm sorry it took so long, but I am back and ready to go. What's been happening the last day?
I have something so exciting to tell you. Okay, so I bought these kidney beans. They're kidney beans that actually taste like kidney, and you have to eat one.
Okay. I guess I'll try one.
Excellent. You're supposed to soak them in blood, but we don't have blood, so we've just been eating them raw. They taste fine.
I pop one in my mouth and crunch down on this kidney bean that tastes like kidney.
It does, in fact, have a strikingly meat-like flavor, which, by the way, I also got a chance to Google, and apparently kidney is also very high in iron and is described as having an iron-based taste. So I wasn't wrong in necessarily comparing it to liver before.
So yeah, it would be like just eating liver.
Very much so, which is good because I actually have a context for that. So yes, it has a surprisingly meat-like flavor, which is not what you would be expecting from a bean.
Oh, this is delicious.
Excellent.
Vegetarian meat.
I'm all down with the vegetarian meats.
There were also small griffins, and I petted one whose name was Kaylin, and that is all that I remember, because I was very distracted by the beans the whole day.
The man talked a lot about his griffins.
Where
but
are these?
Learned that our perishable goods were likely these griffins being smuggled for sale.
Oh. Did we save these said griffins that are being smuggled for sale?
We have not yet.
Oh, well, we should go do that.
There's one more thing that occurred.
Okay.
There is?
There is.
Oh, it's a duck!
The duck.
There was a wooden
You guys
duck.
doubted me for 3 hours.
No, go ahead. This is your story.
No, I said I'm not doing it. You guys doubted me for 3 hours. Somebody else can tell Shava about it. Because
For the record,
So halfway through.
it's only been maybe, I'm gonna say like max 2 hours you have been in this city. It has not been a total length of our playtime. Just because I just want to clarify that because I actually had to think about what time of day it was right now. So it's been
the
like
last
max.
half hour, you guys have been doubting.
Ray found a duck at a woodworking shop. Apparently the duck is magical.
What does this magical duck do?
We're not sure.
Are we going to buy this magical duck and see what it does?
We are. Evidently, Ray is going to be making a table runner in exchange for the duck and 10 gold pieces.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yes, a table runner with magical powers, by the way.
Oh. How are you going to weave the magical powers into the table runner? I'm curious.
That's for me to know and you to never find.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't just like give away all the secrets I've learned over the course of my wonderful adventures. So, Lynn, that was me sticking out my tongue. Listen, you guys have me salty. All I wanted was to give that man a table runner, and all of you kept saying that I was scamming him. So yeah, my ears are down, and I'm just fuck you guys.
That's so cute. Poor Ray. I'm sad.
Benny didn't doubt me. Benny didn't say shit.
Does not need to speak to press X for doubt.
I think Benny might have said something about it, just like knowing him. I can't remember, but still. Poor Ray.
Ray was given a giant ration of shit from everybody, including the DMs.
The entire session.
Anyway, the point is, we got shit to do.
Right. What you calls it? By the way, and this was technically something that you were supposed to notice earlier, but I kind of accidentally skipped over it in my little notes here because I wrote entirely too many notes. So as you guys are standing in town, you probably hear the little chime of the Willow Ben's door opening and would see what appears to be a bearded vulture Aarakocra stepping inside. That is just a character I needed to introduce because they exist. And also because it is different. But otherwise, what do you all do?
Does everybody know what a bearded vulture is, first of all?
Oh, yes. My apologies.
I'm going to take the silence and crickets as a no.
That is fair.
So a bearded vulture, I'm sending a picture to the chat, preferably not joining Greg again. That's not what I wanted to do. A bearded vulture is a rather large vulture that eats the marrow out of bones in order to gain reddish plumage. Kind of the same way that like flamingos do with like their food. Same difference.
That's metal as fuck.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking dope. And for those of you who are a little culturally ambiguous about the setting still, Aarakocra are still a rather reclusive place, and there's not a lot of their settlements around.
Just
You cut off.
did we just see him walk by, like just now?
Yeah, he just walked into the Willow's Bend, which thank you, Carissa. The image is now in the chat, and it should be mentioned that this individual had longer head feathers that seem to have beads of some description on them as decoration. But yes, the Willow's Bend, which says we're too quiet. What? In that case, Carissa, can you crank the audio in OBS for people who aren't you then?
Unfortunately, it's already set to max.
Oh.
So
Ruh-roh.
short of let me mess with a couple things on Steam's end and see if I can get everybody else increased through that. See if that helps.
Yes, perhaps increase our internal volume on yours because it should be pulling the audio through Discord into OBS. So
Discord, not stream. Why do I always get those two mixed up?
That's what I assumed you meant.
You were correct. I just like to confuse the two programs all the time. All right, let's see how that goes, and I'll adjust people as they talk.
Okay, so.
Oh my god.
What? I am very boisterous, Carissa. I apologize. All right.
I'm gonna mute myself.
But yes, so you see that individual, you might be aware that there are different groups of Aarakocra native to different regions. Whether or not you are aware of the variety of Aarakocra that are native to the archipelago is unknown. But
can I just do an insight check to see if I would know?
You may absolutely do an insight check. I feel like that is appropriate for this. All right. Yes. You would definitely. Sorry, my mic just went weird all of a sudden. Huh. You would be aware that the Aarakocra that are native to this area tend to look more like the variety that. Give me 1 second. Carissa, can you take a look at that message real quick and respond while I do the talking here? Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Aarakocra that are native to the archipelago have plumage that is more similar to, or at least the ones that you are familiar with, that are more similar to a osprey. Sorry, my brain could not for the life of me remember what that bird was called for a second there. An osprey. Which makes sense. Yeah. Which makes sense being that this is a, high sea area. That does not mean that he is not native, just that you are not familiar with his particular tribe.
But also, if he looks sort of like a vulture and we just went through a desert, could he not be from that region?
He very possibly could be from that region, indeed.
But a 17 wouldn't tell me definitively.
Because you would not know. The question was would you be aware of what Aarakocra are commonly found in the region? As Carissa said, the Aarakocra are generally extremely reclusive. So if this dude does live in a desert on an island, arguably pretty far out here, it is possible his folks don't travel that much.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, But that was just what extra thing that I wanted to throw in here. And then becomes the next question. As Shava rightly pointed out, it would possibly behoove you all to figure out about rescuing these birds. Griffins. Whatever they are called.
Ray also needs time to make his runner.
That is fair. Although it was, and I did, after doing the math here, double check that it would take approximately like 8 hours to do. So that is a question of how you want to distribute time. And you did, and it should be mentioned, I think Ray did tell, the apprentice at the Willows, was it Willow's Bend? I think is how was what I called that place. Yes, Willow's Bend, the wood carving shop, that that you guys would be around for at least another day or two. So it's not like he needs to get that right this second if that helps your decision-making process at all.
Okay, well, I've never seen a creature like that, so I'm going to be like, what is that? Or what species is he?
Are you just like saying this out loud as this guy walks by?
No, this is after he walked into the bar.
Okay, so I was about to be like, man,
I'm not
we're
that
doing
rude.
great.
I can relay what I know, and I think I do, but yeah, I don't know what he's doing here. I mean, I would share my theory, I guess, about him. It seems reasonable to assume he's from the desert region.
Would I know anything from my travel?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Would I know anything from my travel?
You have traveled around quite a lot. I would say that, well, just because Benny also gave me an insight check, just to be fair, if you could give me an insight check as well. If you
Jack.
have, you do not recall.
Ray doesn't know nothing.
That was my first roll in like a month, and I roll a fucking nat 1. Thanks.
Hey, hopefully you are purging the dice of bad juju before we get to anything major here.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that guy.
And you say it like really loudly so he can hear you, because it's a nat one.
Again, he's inside the woodcarver's shop at the moment.
I'm sure I say it loudly enough that a couple people like look at.
Yep, that is reasonable. That a couple people look at you, especially after you shouted at the sky while in front of the soap lady's stall the other like a couple minutes ago. So
I'm an enigma. I contain multitudes, and one of those multitudes is being batshit insane.
this is fair. I just wanted to let you know.
My curiosity has drawn me inside, and I follow the guy into the woodcarver's shop.
Okay, give 1 second here.
I will also follow for wrangling purposes.
Okay.
I'm curious.
So you guys have returned to the Willow's Bend, and it would appear that the Aarakocra is just finishing up a transaction with the apprentice behind the counter. Shava, this is your first time in here, so you would see a young human lad behind the counter as he says, "Thanks again, Quell, for the sorry, brain glitch there. Thanks again, Quell, for the inlay as always. Again, if you can bring me those beads by tomorrow morning, that'd be great. Thanks." And then the individual that you assume to be Quell, the Aarakocra, nods and begins walking out. he kind of looks at you as he goes to pass by. Specifically, he looks at Shava, being that Fey elves are not particularly common in this area either. You yourself are an anomaly here. So he's kind of glancing as he goes to leave the store, unless any of you stop or do anything.
I give him a wave and say, sir, may I talk to you?
Okay, so give me a second. Two things. First off, the apprentice, who again none of you have gotten around to asking the name of, therefore I continue to refer to as the apprentice, waves back. It's like, oh, hi all of you again. Is there something else I could help you with? And remind me, is Ray with the group currently?
Hi, sir.
All right. And then he sees Ray and he's like, oh, actually, good timing. Okay, so that's the thing he's saying. Then Quell, the Aarakocra, to Shava, kind of looks for a second and then nods slowly as he kind of walks over to be slightly more out of the way. Clearly, that since the shopkeep apprentice has another conversation he wants to undertake and he doesn't want to stand in the way. Okay, I now have to engage in two entirely separate conversations. Who wants to go first?
Real quick, before we do that, if we can take a pause and figure out what the frickle-frack is going on with the audio.
Is it still quiet?
Yeah, chat is still saying that it's quiet, and
What?
I don't know why. But like it's fully not coming through OBS at all now. Like my sound bar is not active. So I got to figure out what's going on.
I would possibly recommend that we stop stream real quick, and then reboot OBS, jump back in, see if that solves the problem.
I think that's
Sounds good to
probably
me.
the best choice.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to
So-
let me inform chat real quick. That is the plan in case they cannot hear us. Or you've got that. Never mind.
And we are back.
Sweet. All right. Hopefully any mic situations are fixed. If not, yay! All right. We have confirmation that the audio is corrected. Huzzah!
Excellent.
Okay. Just a quick summary. For things that that might not have been heard. We are currently inside the Willow's Bend, the carpenter / wood carving shop in town. The party, or Shava, is attempting to speak with Quell, the bearded vulture Aarakocra, and the apprentice shopkeep has flagged over, or is attempting to flag over Ray with some information or something he wishes to discuss. There are two conversations that must happen that are going to happen at this time. Who wishes to go first?
I can go first.
All right. So, this individual, who you understand to be named Quell, is standing there, and he is sort of just staring there, looking at you, and he's like, yes, you wish to speak with me?
Sir, your beadwork is fabulous. Would you be able to tell me where you got the beads if it's not part of your culture?
And he sort of tweaks his head a little bit, confused, just like, technically is part of my culture, yes, but we harvest the bones of the creatures we find in the desert or harvest on ourselves, and we make them into beads, as he turns his head to show you his decoration, and other tools and crafts. I come here just today to sell inlay to Carverman Horan and his master, and I am to bring him beads actually, as well.
Oh, would I be able to buy some from you, or should I buy them from the shop that you would be selling them to?
He sort of pauses and thinks for a moment. I could bring more beads tomorrow morning when I come to sell to Horan, if you wish to buy them as well.
Yes, that would be fabulous.
Very well, I can do this.
Where should I meet you tomorrow?
I will be here.
Well, thank you very much. What time?
About midday, or no, he wanted morning. I will be here when sun up.
I'll be here too. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Have a nice day.
And he kind of, he's as you were about to leave, he's tilted his head, just like, if I may ask question.
Yes.
And he's like, he's raising his hand, which you like all Aarakocra have talons and such on them, and he points at Shava's ears, and he is, are they alive? As he sort of delicately reaches out to indicate the light tendrils of silver birch that adorn her ears.
I freeze a little bit, but realize that he doesn't realize it's part of my body. They're part of me. They're part of my ears. They grow out of them.
And he is making this sort of like chirping. Forgive me, I'm not familiar with all of the intricacies of vulture tone, but the Aarakocra language does have is described as having chirps and stuff in it, regardless of the individual species or variant of the race, I should say. And he's like, interesting. Thank you.
Yes,
Sorry,
you're welcome.
we do not see many of your folks around here.
Yeah, I've traveled very far to get here to help my friends recover something.
And he looks like he's about to ask a question, but then pulls back. It's like, yes, lost things are unfortunate. I wish you luck in your task.
Thank you.
And then he kind of sort of like nods towards you and goes to leave then. If that is done with your conversation, we'll now move over to Horan, who is attempting to speak with Ray. Is Ray approaching, or is Ray ignoring him for some reason?
No, my ears go back up, and I'm like, oh, hey.
Hey, so I wanted to let you. You actually have perfect timing. I was just talking with Quell there. He brings us inlay for the master's projects, and there's actually some in that table back there. And I was asking him, and he's gonna bring me some beads made out of the same stuff that you can incorporate into the table runner. I thought so that it would go together better.
Sounds totally amazing.
Yeah, I thought you would like it. All right, cool. He's gonna come like first thing in the morning, so you'll have some time to do that. I didn't know if you were starting on it tonight or if you were gonna go start with it tomorrow morning. I also don't really know your process, but I wanted to let you know that that's when the beads will be here by.
That is awesome. I'm gonna make it look so cool.
Awesome. Oh, and I actually managed to double check. The what you call the I as the DM forget what I called her before, but the herbologist, she's actually got apothecary. That's what I called her before. Christ. The apothecary, she actually does have a loom that you can use if that helps. I don't again know your general process, but that exists, and she's totally okay with you borrowing it for a bit.
Okay, so we're basically best friends forever now.
Nothing
Anyway.
says friendship faster than being able to make things together.
Yeah.
You just sit around a
Shit.
fire and we can make things.
Oh, and slight retcon to something that would have happened last time because he would obviously know this, but I accidentally forgot. When Ray would have asked about a general store for other materials, there is in fact one at the end of town. They may or may not have yarn. They probably will have like basic like sewing needles and thread. He's not sure if they'd have anything more than that for the purposes of weaving, but you might be able to find like sheets or something there if that would help as well. Just because I know Ray asked about that before and I gave you incorrect information. So just wanted to give you that further information. And that is so it's like again, the apprentice back to Ray here. It's like, so did you have any luck finding that caravan yet?
We have gathered some solid information.
Ah, cool. Well, good luck on that.
Well,
Is there anything else you needed?
I actually had a quick
no.
question.
Oh, no.
Do you
And-
know? Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No. And this is just me as the DM. He looks up, suddenly noticing you, and his eyes go wide for a minute. He's like, yeah. What can I help you with?
Do you know where he gets his bones from?
And I assume that this is after Quell has left the building.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no. As I think I mentioned to your friends, he's kind of looking around for confirmation that you are all in fact together. Yeah, no. Things don't tend to stay alive in the desert too often, so they either scavenge the bones of the things that die out there, or I think they might have some kind of farming set up on top of the monolith. But nobody goes up there, so it's anyone's guess.
Thank you.
Anyway, does anyone have further indications, or what are we doing?
On top of the monolith? How do they? Oh, wait, never mind. They have wings.
Oh yeah. No, they live out there on top of the rock. From my understanding, Aarakocra tend to make their villages on like places that are really hard for, well, not flying people to reach. So that's where they go up there. Considering how big it is, who knows how big of a settlement they've got up there. The only one I ever see is Quell. They tend to keep themselves there much, so Quell is generally their go-between messenger and guy who comes down periodically for basically they sell us bone, we give them some money, and then they can also buy other things that they need in town with it. I imagine they might sell stuff to other people in town, but I just know what they buy for me.
Do you know if they've seen a caravan that went back past here like 2 weeks ago?
Well, the caravan was here about a week ago, but I would have asked Quell. I have no idea. I obviously wouldn't have mentioned it to him, or wouldn't have asked about it.
Okay.
Is
Knowing
it recent enough that we
stipulation.
can run out and ask him, or is he already gone?
Okay, so I think 2 people tried to talk there at once. I did hear Katie saying she wants to run out and try to catch Quell. Was there something else that was said in the meantime? I think Gina might have said something.
I was just going to say that now that Ray knows there's actually a civilization up there, it is now his life's goal to find a way.
Of course it is. Okay. Understood. To Faraday. Yes, Faraday can absolutely run out there, and Quell is, it looks like he is attempting, what do I want to say he's doing out here? You know what? He's also buying the kidney beans.
Yeah,
Good source of protein.
Yeah.
absolutely. Food.
Anyway,
wouldn't-
so
You call it delicious.
yes. So you are seeing Quell is at the stall buying the kidney beans.
Okay, so I run up to him and I'm like, hey, first off, these beans are great. I bought a bag of them myself and I've been making everyone eat them. Fantastic choice. Second, you said something about the desert. We've actually been trying to chase people in the desert. Can I ask you a question about whether you've seen them a week ago? Because everyone we've talked to kind of says they never go in the desert at all.
People in the desert. Can you help?
Okay, so first off, you have just run up and started talking to Quell. Quell, while being, as our friend here in chat points out, being fairly extroverted for his clan, is still kind of spooked by the sudden interaction and speaking like so boisterously with him. And then you mention looking for something in the desert and things, and he's like, what are you looking for?
Okay. So there was a caravan that went missing last week, and then we were sent out to go try and find them. And so we went through the whole desert trying to look for them, but we didn't see anything. So we got here, and then we found out that on the caravan is a bunch of tiny griffins, but we still don't know about the caravan. So have you seen a caravan full of tiny griffins? Or an empty caravan and griffins somewhere else? Any of these answers.
Okay, as a DM, I need you to give me one moment here while I scroll back to find something. I wrote it down because you just said something that reminded me of a thing. Here, okay, here we are. No. Oh my god. I took 17 pages of notes for this entire little quest thing, and it takes me a minute to find things. Okay, I have found a thing. All right. So, I just wanted to see what I had written down about a thing. He is looking, he's sort of twitching his head a little bit and starts trying to walk a little bit. It's like, such matters of worldly folk are not our concerns. I should not say things. And he's sort of walking away, but he's looking back at you. What do you mean by tiny griffins? Or wait, did she say tiny griffins? What did you say? What do you mean by griffins?
Okay, so on the caravan, we met this guy, and he bred tiny griffins. He called them micro griffins, and they were little babies, and I petted them, and they were very soft. And so now not only are we worried about all the men on the caravan, we're now also worried about the griffins, because everything on this was alive, and we would love, if we could, to keep them that way, if it isn't already too late.
Okay,
But they
I'm
just look
going
like griffins, but small.
All right. I am going to need you to roll persuasion with advantage.
I knew that'd get
Okay.
him. I fucking knew it.
Little animals are everybody's weakness unless they're monsters.
Oh, it looks different. Okay, how do I do it with advantage?
So
Uh.
there is right next to it.
don't know. I just clicked it. Hold on.
Well, that's okay. Just roll a second
Okay.
time then.
No, it's so hover. Never mind.
Oh,
Oh
well,
man, Faraday,
Okay.
no!
Well, hang
I have +4.
okay. So how about, because we are still trying to figure out the buttons. Carissa, explain the correct way to roll with advantage, and I will count that once it is successfully rolled with advantage. I will be
All right.
kind.
So hover over the 7, and you should see a plus button pop up on the right. Click that.
Hover over the what?
So in the text bar to the right, where you see all your rolls,
Oh, okay.
hover over the 7.
Yes.
Press the plus button that showed up to the right. There you go.
All right. He is somewhat reluctant, but he, as he's trying to walk away, or he's looking, and he's like, I did see a caravan. They left in the west about a week ago. Perhaps it is them?
Were we to the west?
The waste. The desert.
Oh, okay. Yes, it might have been. Can you tell me, do you remember anything about where they were going?
Hang on, let me just... all I know is I saw them in the waste. So I know they got at least that far. They, less than an hour out of town? Yes. Yes, perhaps. It is hard to tell as I fly there, as I fly home. I do not walk or take of the route the caravan do. But yes, they were in the waste, away from town, less than an hour, a week ago. Do not know more than that.
Okay, thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate you being willing to talk to me.
I wish you luck. It is senseless to waste life that does not intend to risk itself in the desert. And he is now walking away correctly. Not correctly, like as he was initially.
So here's my thing. I think the caravan is already back in oh my god, shit, what's the town we came from?
Orem.
Yeah, I think it's already back in Forum. I think we missed our chance, because where else would it have gone, you know what I mean? So I think we're gonna have to trek back through the desert again, aren't we?
Okay, it's been like a month since our last game. So
Yes.
I need to remind you of the other information that you guys learned like right at the end of last session.
I
you were
remember the beans.
The beans and the duck took primary care of that session. Nothing's
That
more
is
important
really
than the duck.
That is
The doc
fair.
is important. I don't want to hear it.
That is no. Hey, I made the duck. I know how important that duck is. I like that duck. And there's a
Lindsay
reason I
was
want you guys.
I will get that doc.
Good duck. But
Good duck.
this was kind of just thrown in at the tail end there. As I mentioned, Ray admitted his plan in front of a woman who sells soap and loofahs made from gourds, which are things and I still think are cool. You guys spoke to her, and she mentioned how there have been some adventurers. I forget, explorers, who knows, that have been camped out in the desert somewhere for about a month or so. And they have come. The reason this came up is because one of them came to her and on more than one occasion bought a big bag of the seeds that come out of these loofah gourds, which are not too dissimilar to pumpkin seeds.
And didn't we put together no, they couldn't feed them to the mini griffins because they had a very specific diet, but
Actually,
either-
that is not what Varus said. Varus specifically said that they are very amicable. The part of the reason why they would make good pets is that they are very amicable to eating any number of seeds or protein types. That is why he only gave them enough seed to traverse the desert, because Caravan specifically said that they could pick up something else sufficient in form once they arrived. He does, however, as he said, make a very specific blend of native seeds and native seeds from various plants to help encourage them, as it is their native foodstuffs from around the area. And he did give you approximately, like, I want to say like a flour bag, which I think is like a 5-pound bag. Is that like the little? I'm using my hands, and I know none of you can see me right now, but I want to say like a little like. I'm going to say like a little 5-pound bag. I'm not sure what the volumetric dimensions of this. He did give you a little bag of that very good bird seed, but he specifically said they'll eat just about any seed that you put in front of them.
So they're in the desert.
Additionally,
So we have to go back into the desert to find them.
Yes, we must go back into the desert immediately. What if they're getting attacked by those birds?
We did give the birds a lot of fish, but I think the desert is where we have to go again.
I don't go anywhere near those
Good
birds.
thing we prepaid for our rooms.
Why can't we wait till tomorrow and see if Quill will go with us? Because
True.
fly.
Quill barely wanted to talk to us about them. You think he wants to help us out? He seemed.
I mean,
Just
I could
not.
tell him. I could let him feel my ears again.
I feel like maybe if we started with getting his name right, he definitely might be more willing to help us.
Is it Quinn?
It's Quell.
Quell.
Would you feel there is something that could realistically bribe Quell that the party could roll to figure out?
To be fair, I think they kind of figured that thing out. It's where I literally double checked. They figured out his particular thing of interest. It should be mentioned though that and because you guys didn't remember this, I'm willing to retcon this a little bit if you wanted to continue questioning Quell. But you guys haven't asked about these mysterious strangers that are apparently camped out in the desert fucking somewhere.
I mean, we should have asked actually. So
That is what I am saying. Had you guys remembered that this was a thing, you would have asked. So if you wish to continue that dialogue, I will permit it. So, cut back. If that Quell has wished you good luck in finding the small birds.
I mean, to be fair, Faraday was just very, very obsessed with the idea of saving the little griffins, and it's distracting. I get it.
Yes. So if Faraday wants to jump in, also if any of the rest of the party has made their way out of the Willow's Bend at this point and which wishes to join up with Faraday and enter this conversation, you may do so now.
I guess my character doesn't know yet about, because no one's told me.
Very true.
I'm sorry, we forgot. It's been a month.
It was
Quite
more important for you to
honestly-
eat the bean.
Quite honestly, my character would not have put together that the seeds were for those birds.
The only
To be
reason
fair,
I
I think I did, but I forgot because it's been a month.
and that's why I'm just gonna let them Because you made that connection, so I'm like, okay, good. That was like the only reason you didn't immediately jump onto that is because you thought, oh wait, different food. And it's like, no. You were very specifically told they will eat any kind of seed.
And also, again, I need to emphasize that man was putting so much information out there that Benny was not fully fucking processing. So, but the point being, we should ask more information of this burb man. So
Christelle, if you've ever,
I will leave when Ray leaves. I'm supervising Ray.
Yeah, I'm looking at Benny with like some curiosity, and I'm like, can I ride on your shoulders?
I walk out when I see the conversation going on.
You're just
No.
really tall. I want to know what it's like to be tall.
No.
Seriously?
No.
I think you owe me at least one thing for trying to pet me in the middle of the night.
Fine.
worded so meanly.
And he will lower himself.
Yeah, I'm jumping on.
Only because he feels racially insensitive. And then we will follow outside to join the conversation with Quell.
This is awesome.
So, as Quell thinks the conversation has ended, you guys are walking up as he is walking away. It's like, I wish you luck with finding the little ones. It is unfortunate for life to be wasted when they do not choose to go into the desert. And you guys are approaching as he is walking away. Faraday, you see Benny with Ray on his shoulders walking towards you along with Shava. And Koki is here too somewhere because they are.
Koki is tired.
Mm-hmm.
Too much
Now-
excitement has happened.
Ray's not sitting on his shoulders like a child with like both legs on either side of him. He's more kind of like clinging to his back.
Like a backpack, just so we're clear. Wait, no, is he doing shoulder cat things?
Yeah, he's doing shoulder cap.
Okay, understood.
Lindsay, you would understand the reference. He's doing what Elder Taguro does with younger Taguro.
Understood, yes.
Yes.
Chris
He's
also
just creeping on his shoulder like a tiny little man.
except he's fluffy, so it's cute.
And this
Exactly.
is
He's
the
also
Yu Hakusho
probably, like-
stan group.
Super excited. All right.
Ray,
You
you
have
have to make acrobatics checks to stay on.
No.
I mean, it's been spoken. I'm going to say that as Benny comes to a stop to enter this conversation, sure, roll me an acrobatics to stay balanced.
Oh no. If that makes you fall, I would be so upset.
You have spoken it into existence.
Oh no, I'm sorry,
Roll
babe.
for me.
Hold on. For the rest of the chat, I'm putting in a picture of what exactly he's doing.
That is fair.
I'm sorry if you fall. I'm so sorry.
I can't believe you did this to me.
I hope you roll really well.
You.
All right, that's fine. It wasn't a particularly sharp thing. I was mostly
Nice.
checking for ones or absurdly other low rolls.
Yeah, of course.
You're fine. All right. You maintain balance. You have entered the conversation. Somebody stop this man from walking away, please. Katie,
I
if
have
you're
no rapport with this man. The ladies have developed a rapport with him. I don't want to suddenly stop him with a cat on my shoulder.
That is fair. Katie, it sounded like you were breaking up. I wasn't sure if you were trying to say something or there, but we did not hear you. I apologize.
I wasn't. It was just my air conditioning again, so I decided to mute myself.
Ah, fair. I just wanted to make certain I had not missed a thing. I didn't actually hear it. It just triggered it, but fair, and we appreciate your consideration. So, who speaks? Faraday, you can continue. You were literally in the middle of a conversation with this man. You just have your bros here now. Benny has chosen to abstain.
All right, I'm like, hey, one more question. We heard there were a bunch of people in the desert. Is that the caravan you were talking about, or are there two missing caravans in the desert?
He is once again uncomfortable. These
Oh,
are
man.
you continue to ask of worldly things. I should not. But no, there was only the one caravan so far that I know of.
Wait, guys,
Okay.
there's a caravan in the desert? You guys didn't tell me about that.
We'll
that's why
catch you up
you brought
later.
it
I am talking to this man. I actually shushed them in game.
That's so mean.
I shoot you a glare.
Shut up, the bard is talking. Let them charisma check this.
This bird is having a bad time. Let's just talk to him so he can leave. That was not in game. I'm not just
No,
saying
no.
the bird. That feels so rude.
That's okay. All right, but he does look at it's like, but what other people do you mean? Do you speak of?
Well, we didn't know if there were other people. We just heard there's someone camping in the desert, and we were trying to find out if those were the people we were sent to find.
Your caravan was from a week ago. If he is looking. It's kind of hard to tell because he's got a beak face. He is Aarakocra, but he starts sort of like thumbing his chin, and like he makes chirping noises that I cannot emulate because I am not bird. It specifically says like that is part of the Aarakocra language that it is difficult for non-Aarakocra to emulate, including me. He is making these sort of sounds, and then he looks like he's trying to go and things.
Would you be
If-
willing? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you go.
Would you be willing to show us where these people were camping? Pretty please.
If there were such people, they have been here for almost a moon, yes?
A moon? That's a lot longer than a week.
Previously a reminder to the party. The guys you are looking for have been here for the guys you are currently discussing have been there at least 3 weeks. A moon is approximately 4 weeks. So it is not dissimilar. He's talking about the same people, yes.
Here for a week.
Yeah. So if there were, they have been coming and going. Yes. And Quell could draw a map of where he has seen those comings and goings. I have not seen their camp. Quell has not. No. But no people. Quell could help. Quell could help. Yes. Quell will help.
Out of character, I am in love with this person.
I know, I wanted to say I love this boy. This is a good boy.
All right. And he gives a firm and the gestures going along with that vocalization was again sort of nodding, and then a affirmative, like definite nod of yes, Quell will help. He turns to the bean man. parchment, paper, pen, write, implement, thing, word.
I will give them to him. I won't say anything about it, but I will do it.
Thank you.
And I'm also balancing a cat on my shoulder.
Yeah,
so
I was
it's
going to
not-
say he is pausing in to look at you, and the cat is like, tall fellow and friend of Horan.
I wave at
As he takes down on the thing, and he then proceeds to draw you a fairly crude but approximate map of a couple of the town and some nearby rock formations, and basically a map and circles an area to indicate where he has seen their comings and goings. And he gives it to Faraday. It is not my people's way to deal with worldly things, but I do not like the waste of life. If these individuals have caused harm to the creatures, the little ones, they should be tended to.
Thank you so much. Is there anything I can give you as payment? Would you like some beans?
You do have so many beans.
Are you offering him your entire, like, how are you attempting to offer him the beans? Are you like indicating you will buy? Well, actually, he's just going to look out. Are you like holding up your bag of beans? What how are you indicating this?
I'm holding up my bag of beans and being like, here. And then if he takes some, that's fine. But if he takes the whole bag, that's also fine. I'll just buy more beans.
Oh, this is very generous of person. Quell could not take all beans. That would be rude. They are very good beans, as you have said.
They are very good beans, yes. But I can always buy more beans. Take as many as you want. It's okay. You've really helped us a lot. Thank you.
I love this good boy. He deserves all the beans.
He deserves every bean. But I don't want to push him.
You are generous. Quell can be generous too. Quell will take beans, but will also be sure to bring fine beans for friend. As he turns to point to Shava. And will not charge for fine things.
Oh, thank you very much.
Goes to take the bag of the kidney-flavored kidney beans from Faraday. And he nods. If is all, Quell should be going. Tribe will be wondering where Quell has been.
I'll give him the one single nod. The acknowledging nod.
Quell nods in addition to quiet fellow, quiet tall man.
Quiet tall man with cat.
With cat.
Cat.
I just like to be tall too.
All right. And with that, Quell is off. And you have a lead and a goddamn map.
But before we go anywhere, I turn to the stall and I ask the man if I can buy more beans.
This man is having the day of his life.
He's probably never sold so many damn kidney beans in his life.
As a reminder, these bags are a single gold apiece. Are you okay to pay this price once again?
Let me see how much money I have. I'm pretty sure I am. The question is whether I buy one bag or two, really. Let's see. I have, how many gold is it a piece? One?
It is 1 gold for a bag of kidney-flavored kidney beans.
Yeah, I will absolutely buy another bag. 1 gold down, already out of my inventory.
All right. You are the proud owner of more beans.
Excellent. I turn to my party. I'm like, who wants the celebratory bean?
Maybe we should cook these.
Oh, and the gentleman who now notices you all of a sudden, it's like, oh, pause, look of minor confusion. Yes, I told your friend they are best cooked and boiled in blood if you can acquire it. I find it enhances the iron flavor and makes them much more in line with the correct texture. But I don't know if I found the exact right kind of blood. If you experiment with different varieties of blood, let me know. Which you
How
find
much
most
blood?
the same way that one would. I've only done it in small batches, just because the amount of blood you can get from a rabbit isn't too terribly much. I do find that you sometimes need to dilute it with a little bit of water there, just because the blood tends to try and congeal well. As such, I also haven't quite figured out the correct ratio of blood to water to get the most flavor out of it while preventing the blood from clotting as you cook it.
I think you're grossing out, chat.
Well, yes, you guys, chat was not here for the original description of the kidney beans.
We
This
had
was
a whole
intended
discussion about what kind of blood would work best. It was a whole
Yes.
thing.
This was a thing, and you guys still bought the flavored kidney beans. I never claimed this man was.
I'm sorry, Jill Polly.
Yes, my apologies, Yotali. But this is a thing that existed previously, and I am just carrying on with canon.
This man and his kidney-flavored fucking kidney beans.
He has tried to grow. This is his. I don't know if it's his life's work, but his current passion project is trying to make the most realistically kidney-flavored kidney beans that one can produce.
Anywho.
So since we have to trade with Quell, Ray has to make the runner. Should we do a night in at the inn since we bought our rooms already?
Probably should.
Mm-hmm. Get a long rest and all that stuff. I
Um,
don't know.
I think we
don't
should
think
be
we're
well
bad.
rested before we go in the desert.
Yeah, for sure.
Give me one moment. I need to respond to a thing.
Listen,
No.
it's
Wait. Just one moment.
Let's see.
The answer. Give me a moment. I'm gonna type a thing, and then Carissa, confirm if this is okay.
One fear.
Okay, so is the party heading back to the inn now?
Yes, it would sound as though the party has decided to spend their evening at the inn and then begin their trek in the day.
Okay, so as we're
And-
walking back, I very excitedly tell them that I have found a source of blood for us to cook the kidney beans in, and if anyone would like to partake, they can.
What is your source of blood?
I'm so glad you asked. It is me. So as we've learned, because y'all keep getting hurt, I can just heal myself. So I will simply, like, if these beans are so good dry, imagine how good they are in blood. So I will use my own blood, heal myself, and eat these beans. All of you are welcome. None of you need to.
I feel as though in the end you're going to gain net zero benefit from this because you're losing blood even if you're healing yourself.
Okay, but it isn't about the nutritional values so much as the art of tasting these beans the way they were meant to be tasted.
So, technically, as a side note, as far as mechanics are concerned, as a note, you guys are about to long rest, and the rules as written in D&D is that a long rest basically cures all wounds. So don't fucking ask about the logistics about cure wounds and long rests and how much blood she can regenerate in a single night. Because fuck it, this is D&D and we're not getting that hyper realistic here, okay?
She just drops a full pint of fucking blood into a pot, puts the beans in, then rests, and she's like, I'm good to go. I'm in the desert. We in this.
I'm like 6'8". I have a pint of blood to lose.
Also, I think you technically, like, if you are donating blood, like at a blood bank, they can safely actually, I think, take a pint of blood without any issues.
I believe that is how much they take, yeah. I haven't given blood in years, but...
And a reminder, you do have to mix this with water to dilute this. This is...
So, I can't breathe because I'm choking from laughing so hard. I'll be right back.
Yep, carry on. I'll man this circus here. Alright. So, Faraday, please continue with this conversation. As I have just wanted to clarify the mechanical aspect of this, as it need be.
Well, I think I have gotten down how I'm going to do it, so it's mostly now, does anyone care to join me? Or even just, partake in the festivities, maybe not eat, but be there while we have this momentous occasion?
I'm gonna be honest, I will try. I will try the beans.
Excellent. I'm sure they're going to be so good. I'm so excited.
Looking at you horrified, and I take a step away from you.
Ray is having an internal dialogue with himself about whether or not this qualifies as cannibalism.
I think it's pretty damn close.
Benny is 100% in the camp that it's cannibalism, but he'll still do it. I just want to know, what is she going to have to roll for this to determine how much blood she effectively gives?
I think I have to attack myself.
Yeah, she mentioned the chat as described mentioned using a dagger. So I was basically just gonna have her roll a damage.
Roll a damage on herself?
Dagger on herself. Not to hit. We're not rolling a crit or nothing. And she clearly has more HP than a fucking D4, so she's not gonna die or nothing.
Oh, good lord.
Carissa, do you have objections?
She got a nat 20.
I just died trying to
kill herself trying to make these beans.
I thought I would have gone out the way I wanted to.
Carissa, I'm sorry, I'm seeing your expressions. Do you have objections to rolling a D4 with you're just trying to stay out of this conversation. That's okay.
In pursuit of beans.
I feel like if she's willing to slit her own wrists for realistic kidney beans, she shouldn't have to roll for it.
That's fine. That is also fine. So
personal opinion.
Yeah. No. I'm not having her roll to hit. It was just a question of how much damage does she inflict? Or do you mean she shouldn't have to roll damage?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, we will skip that part of it. If for some reason you happen to be you happen to engage in a bar fight, though, at less than full HP after having slit your wrist to make realistic kidney beans, then we will address that problem when we get there. But for now, let us assume that it is a nebulous amount of damage done to yourself to draw blood to cook beans.
We're never going to be allowed to stay at this inn again if this man knows that we're doing blood cooking in one of the rooms.
Well, okay, he's not gonna let you have fire. You'd be doing this out back somewhere, like in a campfire, similar to how you've been cooking on your trails.
Oh, sweet
Or-
Jesus.
Somehow that's even worse.
Hear
because
me
I'm
out.
doing this in full.
Out in the
You
elements.
You could go into the alley, or you could go into your room with a pot. Alley was suggested by chat. Slit your wrist there, and then bring the blood to the kitchen, and not tell them where it's from.
Would it be suspicious to show up with blood in the kitchen, or would they assume it was simply not my blood?
You can say that
you-
you
do
could
you-
just lie to them and say that it's like beet juice.
Do you think it would be less suspicious to go out into the woods when you have a room and come back with a slit wrist and bloody beans?
Back up. Do you think that blood and beet juice have the same texture and consistency?
The only
Describe
people
it.
eating it are the people in the party, and they already know that it's blood. The person that you're borrowing the kitchen from doesn't need to know.
Okay, but wouldn't you like to know if your pot had blood in it?
Are you going to? Oh wait, are you leaving the pot dirty for them? That's just rude at that point. I assume you
I thought we were
washed it
using our own cooking utensils.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I assume-
clean it. Do I have my own pot? Then that fixes all the problems.
We have our. You guys have your own. I believe Benny specifically has cooking utensils, which
Benny
I
does.
include to be a pot. I assume you guys were cooking and eating your food in some manner, and as such, you have a vessel within which you could cook these beans.
And Benny will donate this. Honestly, out of morbid curiosity, he will donate his cooking utensils to you.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
rad.
honestly, I feel like if I went over to someone's house and like ate soup that was made out of a bowl, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's our bloodletting bowl," I'd kind of be a little sick.
No one but the
Just
party
saying.
has to know.
Also, it's your
There's-
own pot. If you so first of all, you guys are going to have to go into the inn post office town hall and ask freaking I forget what his full name was, but I know his nickname was Door Knocker. Going to have to ask Door Knocker, "Hey, can I use your kitchen?" Which he may or may not agree to. And then you would just use your own pots. That would be the situation. How you have that conversation, I will let up to you.
Let's
that
do
is-
this.
That is the steps that would be necessary for this to happen.
Okay, let's go.
Carissa, your face.
I'm starting a new list. It's called "What Did the Party Spend an Exorbitant Amount of Time Arguing About This Session That We Didn't Plan For?" At the start, we have bed sheets, and at the end, we have eating my own blood.
I mean, what do you expect?
Not
can't-
this.
You can't plan. The more you plan, the less you do.
All right.
Lindsay and I are like, they'll definitely get to point X by the end of this session. No, because we
Nope.
have to talk about eating blood for 40 minutes.
You're the
Very
one
important.
who told me these beans need to be in blood. It's not my fault. I realized I have blood.
Wait a minute. I blood.
Break
I
it.
can solve this supply chain issue.
All right. And to be fair,
What?
Carissa,
I love
we
it.
knew there was a non-zero like there it just for the sake of saying it, progress was made in the actual plot. The party is of course allowed to enjoy themselves a little.
Anyway,
Well,
I'm
you
having a
And
blast.
Ray still needs to make the runner, so we'll already be like ready, set up for our long rest. Ray can do the work, and then we can head out tomorrow after we've eaten blood beans and Ray has made the runner. It's good. We're putting ourselves in a good position here.
It's all good.
It's fucking great.
Question
All right.
Very-
kind of along the same lines, but a different line. Since I am Fae, if I used my blood, would that make them my thralls?
What
That
the
is-
fuck?
Okay, so that
Have
is
enough.
also that's not how Fae work. At least not that I'm comfortable saying in our setting. That is a question that we have not addressed. And right now my gut reaction is that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Unless if you genuinely believe that is a question you would have to try. But I'm going to say from a DM perspective, That's not how this works. If you want to say that your character actively believes something that is incorrect, I will not stop you.
I was just questioning.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. You cannot make people your thralls by having them drink the blood of a fey elf. There are probably
Fey
some
elf,
people
not a vampire.
No, that
there may be people out there that believe that. People believe a lot of weird shit about fey elves because they're strange and mysterious and they don't get out that often. But
You could probably convince people that.
yes, you could convince people of that. But would that actually happen? No.
okay.
The point being, are we cooking these fucking beans?
Well, if you guys
Oh, we are.
all right, you are entering the freaking I keep forgetting what the name of this inn is.
The Inn Post Office Town Hall.
Well, yes, but the inn itself has a name. The Tangled Vine Inn. There we go. Okay. The Tangled Vine Inn.
Okay, so I go up to door knocker,
All right.
and I ask,
It appears to be the beginning of the evening dinner rush. So he is, in fact, currently starting to cook up the big stew pot that he normally would be making for this evening. So you approach door knocker.
hey, mate, I was wondering if after the dinner rush, I could use your kitchen to cook my beans. We'll be using our own pots and everything. I just need a source of heat.
Yeah. Wait. So are you guys? But I'm not giving you a refund for the what you already paid on the meal. As I said, it's whatever we're cooking tonight. One tankard of ale, no more, no less.
Of course
So-
not, of course not. We're still willing to pay full price. We just also want to cook these beans.
Well, I can't stop you if you want to eat them, but I might as well let you have it to make them tasty. No sense in it since I'm not using it. Keep it clean on yourself and don't be making a mess for me. As he's like looking at you and shaking his finger.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. And so it begins.
I turn to the rest of my party with just an evil grin. Just like, oh guys, it's gonna happen kind of grin.
You need to wash my pot when you're finished.
Yeah, that's more than fair.
And I'm going to supervise the process.
I was going to
All right,
say,
you
I
can
don't
cover
know how
Merm.
much cooking experience Faraday has, but I will say that if she is being supervised, she can definitely boil beans successfully. Wait, why
Well, I
were we
wasn't
rolling
very scary about saying I was going to watch you do it, but
All right, in that case, it comes off less as that and more as like a brotherly, like, hey, I'm gonna keep an eye out for you type thing. Or
God
possibly,
damn it.
Or possibly, I will let Faraday decide. That is my first suggestion. My second suggestion would be that it comes off as like a co-conspirator type of thing. It's like, I'm going to keep an eye out for you to make certain nobody sees what you're doing. Or Faraday could decide how else she interprets it. But she definitely does not interpret it as spooky.
I would probably interpret it as, this is just my friend being like, hey, I know you're gonna hurt yourself, I'm gonna make sure you don't kill yourself. And I'm gonna be like, good friendship.
God damn it.
God.
He is
Okay,
going to supervise. He's going to read. He's going to think that he was extremely scary about it.
All right.
Supervising the process of the washing, but
He absolutely can say he thinks that. All right. So, evening falls. The various citizens of the town come in, as this is pretty much the one and only hangout. They have drink, have good food, have good conversation. The party may partake of their evening meal if they wish to, before the bean debacle takes place.
I ate the evening meal.
All right. As I said, it is a stew comprised of small bits of meat and predominantly a series of various root vegetables. There's some parsnips in there. Oh yeah, no, there's parsnips are good.
I
Um,
do eat regular dinner. I do.
Okay.
I'm not planning on eating a lot of these beans. I'm just going to try them. So I will eat real food.
Yeah. Agreed.
I
Ray is
a
gonna
little bit of the food. I'm planning on eating a lot of beans, but I feel like it would be rude if I didn't eat any of his food. So I eat some, like half a portion.
Okay. So, you guys then partake of your meal. You guys have already been talking a lot, but if there's anything you guys wanted to discuss separately, perhaps a specific game plan for tomorrow, or anything else that you would want to discuss over a lovely meal together inside a nice, warm, and safe inn space that you have not been in since you have all gathered together. You have all been previously having your meals on the road. So,
I think we just know our game plan is tomorrow we'll make our various trades and then head out to the desert.
all right. In that case, then, otherwise, you all partake of your meal, and it does seem, what you calls it, at a certain point in the evening, door knocker, sort of waves at Faraday and gives you the thumbs up as though you are good to go. So he is no longer using his stovetop.
Okay, rad.
If and whenever Faraday is good to partake of her endeavors.
Okay, honestly, as soon as she sees the wave, she's up to her room and she's like, I mean, if someone wants to come, they can, but I'm gonna be back down in a second with some good blood for these beans.
Oh my god.
I'm just standing guard at the outside the kitchen, waiting for her.
I continue sitting at the table.
I'm
Great.
also at the table.
So, in that case, then I will just say that you successfully acquire a sum of blood that I will not define, but it plus some water should be more than enough to cook the entire bag if you were so inclined. And you successfully also cast Cure Wounds to prevent yourself from bleeding out. This is a conversation I did not expect to have, but here we are.
Okay, so I go to the bathroom. Is there a bathroom upstairs that I can access to put water in this?
There is an implement to do so in the kitchen.
All right, great. So I go down to the kitchen with just my pot of blood.
Yeah, I don't think we're necessarily at the point of full indoor plumbing bathrooms type yet as far as technology. At least not clear out here. As far as you are aware, they do not have like that kind of setup here. I do not know, maybe bigger cities do, but certainly not out here in the sticks.
Okay, rad. So I go downstairs with just my straight up pot of blood. And I enter the kitchen and I put some water in it. I don't know. I'm guessing I know how much water, and I put it on the stove. And I'm so excited. I'm grinning ear to ear, and I pour in half a bag of beans. Like, I'm really confident this is gonna be good.
All right. I'm like, my brain is like, you should make her roll to cook, but I'm just like,
I'm trying to figure out what you would even roll.
I mean, technically, you are proficient in cooking utensils. Cooking is a skill by the virtue of tools and any other crafting skill that we have in this game. In fact, Helenia's Guide to Monster Hunting, one of our glorious supplements, actually has it so that hypothetically later on you could use pieces to make magical meals to enhance everybody's abilities. So that is a thing that exists. But frankly speaking, she's boiling water. I'm going to assume she's competent enough to boil water and beans in it.
Like,
Unless
just, yeah.
Like, if that's all we're doing here, I'm going to allow that. So, you are boiling this blood water with beans in it, and you, I assume, periodically do a taste test to see if they are approaching correct tenderness.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So as my brain is like, you should describe how the beans look as they're cooking, and I'm just like, no, we're not doing that. They're beans in blood water. That could get gross really, really fast.
Could get?
I can get descriptive, damn it. Don't
No, I'm saying
test
it's
me.
already gross.
That's what I'm saying. It would get worse. Don't tempt me.
Is it like
That is-
milk where it gets a layer of like scum at the top of it when you boil
Oh,
it?
that's
My
so
God.
gross.
No.
Just blood
I can look
froth
up what
on
happens
top.
when you boil blood.
Oh my god. Please do not Google that. We're not doing it. Like I said, we are not getting descriptive
It's like when
here.
it's like when you can meat and it all just congeals into like
Ugh,
globules.
gross.
Okay, just so we're clear, blood pudding is a thing that people eat. So I know that this is eaten by people somehow. I don't know how it is eaten. I do not know how it is prepared. I started this bit, and we have gone much further than I ever anticipated this going. But we're here. I accept that responsibility. I made a thing. It exists, and I'm gonna follow it through. Damn it, because I am that kind of DM.
Here's my thing. If I like go to the UK and I order some blood pudding, I'm not expecting the chef to come out and be like, by the way, I made that with my own blood.
I was also never anticipating that plan, but here we are, damn it. So, back to
We're in
what
this.
we're in this now. We're here. So I do have to get a little bit descriptive, as it is my responsibility as DM. Don't worry. I'm just because I will say, Carissa, stop making faces at me. You are making this harder than it needs to be.
Pointing and say, and then you all eat the beans.
Oh,
She's
I was
acting
pl- I
like
was
this is her
fully-
obligation.
I did
fully
not put in
planning on
all
making
of
a
this
Constitution
effort.
saving throw when I eat these beans. Fully planning on it.
I think this is the most complaints I've ever heard to one of my suggestions all at once.
So I will
Sorry,
say,
continue.
because Faraday is the first to taste these as they approach doneness, because that is it. That is how she is confirming their doneness. So as they are being boiled and cooked, the texture does in fact approach much more what you would assume, though softer. It is definitely a bean, but it's a bit stiffer of a bean. And it does taste more of iron, which, if you have tasted an actual kidney before, if you have eaten organ meats, the kidney bean guy wasn't lying. It is closer to the flavor of an actual kidney. You do wonder, though, if there is perhaps the texture still isn't quite right, though. It is still not quite stiff enough. It's still not meat, obviously, it's still a bean. But the flavor is more in line with what you were expecting. It is exactly what you were anticipating.
I'm going to be quite frank. I don't know what I was anticipating.
I'm saying this as far as what Faraday was.
Oh man, I am so excited. This stuff tastes like kidneys. I'm ready to blow the rest of my 24 gold on bags of kidneys.
Oh my god.
So we're calling them done?
Oh, they're done. They're fantastic. This is the best food I have ever tasted.
I'm going in.
All right. They taste as I have previously described, you, having more experience in cooking, do recognize the texture is decidedly off, but the flavor is quite a bit, is much closer than you would have ever anticipated for a bean to taste like kidney. And yeah, you're keeping it down. You're
Yeah,
keeping
it's
it down.
okay. I've had
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'm not going to take a second helping.
Oh, I'm consuming these beans.
I forget who else did. I forget. Shava, I believe, said she was abstaining. I forget if Ray said he wanted to try some of the cooked beans or not.
By virtue of wanting more knowledge and wanting to learn about the world, he is going to try one singular bean, but it is very clear he's not necessarily happy about
All right. Then,
Yes, more people eating the beans.
again, they taste as I have described. The texture isn't quite there, but it does taste remarkably of kidney meat.
Is there any other people that want to try it? Like, is there anyone around that's like, oh, that smells good?
Oh my god, no.
Okay, that's
No.
past morality. That's just
Nope.
I
Okay.
don't want to have someone eat this if they don't know it's my blood. That is beyond. My moral code is suspicious, but that's beyond it. I feel
Yeah,
like you have to know.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would be like, okay, like that would, like, as a gut reaction as a DM, that would be fucked up. People are probably looking over, seeing that Faraday has brought out a bowl of some other food, but they're all pretty full from their hearty stew and are otherwise engrossed in their conversation and are just leaving the weird ass out of towners to their own devices.
That is fair. We are weird ass out of towners.
Yep.
We are eating blood beans. Are there any beans left that I can save? Or did we eat every bean?
And you made an entire, like, having
She made half
experience,
the bag,
I
didn't
made
she?
half a bag.
you made half a bag, and beans my knowledge of regular ass beans, they tend to expand and be very filling. So I'm going to say that unless Faraday, who is the primary eater of these beans, pushed herself like way to the point of, oh, I'm feeling very uncomfortable having eaten this much food, there are beans left over for breakfast tomorrow. I don't know where we're at here.
Okay, I keep the beans and then I clean the pot and whatever else I use to cook.
Okay. I believe Benny
I
said he was
return
going
the-
to monitor.
What did I say? Sorry, one more time.
I think Benny said he wanted to observe to make certain you clean the pot thoroughly. That was my
I did
understanding.
want to observe and make sure my pot was cleaned well enough.
All right. That happens. What you calls it? And you still have your stew left over, technically, because you didn't eat all of it. So I imagine you could store your extra beans in the bowl. Save it for tomorrow morning. It's not like they got Tupperware.
Okay, I'll put it in the
Okay.
bowl.
All right. And unless anyone else wants to do things, I think that's the night. That's the night.
Ray has to make the runner.
yeah. I was going to say I'm going to work on my table run.
I mean, okay, yeah, sure. You can work on that sometime. You will need to long rest eventually. I did say it would take approximately 8 hours to make this whole thing. On that note, though, so are you knitting? Did you go to the apothecary to get access to the loom? What is the process here?
He's going to knit it.
Alrighty.
What a
But
good
yes,
boy.
I think I can say that you had some yarn on you to start, if those are like your personal weaving tools, just as what you calls it, oh my god, my brain. Benny had cooking utensils and everything to sort of start things. I would say it'd be reasonable for you to start with a non-zero quantity of yarn to knit or weave with. You may need to acquire more depending on how elaborate you want to make this. I believe Horan did mention that the apothecary does grow hemp plants, and so you could acquire some of those fibers to weave or knit with as needed. Wait, did you say knit or crochet? Are you doing something fancy like macrame?
He's gonna knit it, and he has these special knitting needles that are big enough so that his paws can actually hold them. He can't crochet because it's too like much of a delicate thing to do with paws and claws and beams.
Very fair. Very fair. All right. So I can't say, because it actually wasn't too terribly late. You guys arrived around noon. You spent a couple. So yeah, I'd say you get. What do you think? 2-3 hours, Carissa? How much evening time you think? Yeah. Let's say 3 hours. You get 3 hours of your work done starting on this table runner here.
Yay!
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to do to before they settle in for the evening, or as they settle in?
I'm just practicing my pan flute.
I assume I know what our good friend Benny is doing based off of previous information.
Sorry, I'm fighting with my ALEXA right now.
Ah, okay.
So I'm assuming, did we all do our own rooms?
Yes, you very specifically, because he charges by head, so you were
Yes.
all able to get your own rooms. And so,
Okay.
for the first time in several days, Benny now has access, also to a kitchen if he so desired, a room to himself, some nice quiet time to enjoy as he chooses.
You know, I'm going to be eating my candy.
I absolutely know you're going to be eating your candy.
I'm going to eat my candy in peace and quiet, and no one can bust me for it. I can just enjoy my fucking candy, and it's very nice, especially after having to eat blood beans.
Yep.
That's all.
I'm
going to eat my candy and go the hell to bed.
It successfully removes any lingering taste or thought of the beans from your mind as you enjoy the delicious sweetness.
Thank God. What a beautiful thing after all
Indeed.
that.
All right. And with that, you all enjoy your first evening or your first night in a bed for like fucking is this only day 3 of the journey? Oh my god, this is. Sorry, I just realized how time works. What?
Did they get across the desert and back?
No, they spent 2 days in the desert. They arrived in town. No, wait, 2 nights. So this is the end of the 3rd day. Right? No? Wait, no, they only spent, because they spent 1 night on the bridge. It took them 1 day to get through the bridge. Then it took 1 day to get most of the way through the desert. Then they arrived at town midday of the 3rd day. And so this is the night of the 3rd day. Okay. I'm like, wait, is it wrong? No, I think that is in fact how time works. So, as the sun sets in the east, as we have established, I'm going to keep reminding myself of this fact of our world. You all drift off to sleep, unencumbered, in your nice fluffy beds. Or at least as fluffy as you can assume in the middle of bumfuck nowhere to have. We're not talking like super plush here, but it's better than sleeping on the dirt and rocks like you have been.
It is
Someone who
nice.
has actually recently spent time in inns in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, it's not.
Indeed. All right. Morning dawns of the 4th day. And it is, so how are we all feeling currently? I know for some of us it is later or earlier than others. For those of us where it is currently 9 o'clock, how are we feeling?
I have to be up at 4 in the morning to be at work at 4:30.
Oh my
Fair
god, Steph, that's horrible.
All right. So this seems like a good time to stop then, as we have rounded out another day, and we can begin the next with glorious progress. And not beans, please.
The beans are resolved, I think.
I'm offering the Bean Man to try these beans.
Did you gotta tell him?
Yeah, because he's only ever had rat blood. I have to offer him.
Rabbit!
mine.
Rabbit, not rat!
I-
Rabbit with a B.
I'm sorry, he's only had rabbit blood.
Yes.
Okay, no, here's my problem with that is because if he actually likes it with your blood, he's going to become kind of serial murderer trying to get the perfect bean dish.
My God.
He's actually the final, like, the arc villain of the campaign because he becomes, like, extremely powerful all in the name of stealing all of Faraday's blood for his beans.
He has a taste for blood, literally.
By the way, the other good thing and of note to spellcasters who prepare their spells, you know what is coming next day, so if you wish to change or otherwise prepare for what may or may not be, who knows, that is a thing that can be done before next session.
I'm all cantrips, baby. I do that shit on purpose.
Fuck yes. Which
That's why I'm nervous about playing a sorcerer. Well, I don't have to prepare spells for that, but still, spell slots are so damn confusing.
Mhm.
So, I'm not looking forward to that
Needlessly
part.
complex.
What, Carissa?
I said needlessly complex.
Mm-hmm.
It's so complicated. I play barbarians. I don't do that shit.
To be fair, that's why I always find warlocks to be arguably like the easiest intro in 5e to spellcasting, because you have a short spell list, a small number of spell slots, and you get them back after a short rest. So if you screw up, no hard consequences really. It's very, very user friendly.
I find clerics and paladins decently forgiving, but yeah, anything like with wizards with prepared spells, I know it would just stress me the hell out. So
All right. So
I'm gonna wrap up the stream before we
Yes.
get too off topic into other
Indeed.
things.
Sorry. With that, we come to a
Tally?
close. Oh, may I? Or did you have more things?
No, go ahead.
With that, we come to a close. Another session of the Dead Sea God, where some plot was achieved. Mostly beans happened, though.
The true
Mostly beans. Well, maybe not mostly. Like 50% plot, 50% beans. I consider that a win. I think we all had fun. And I bid you all a good another session in the person. I'm sorry, that one got me. That one got me. All right. And with that, we bid you all adieu.